Police shootout in New Bern.
Was a police officer down.
2 officers were hit.
There was a body over there. There was another person wounded over there, and it was a dead body over there.
Both officers sent to the hospital. The suspect is dead.
This can't be happening in front of my house. Like, it's really happening.
News Channel 12 was at the scene last night. We've been following new developments all day to get you the facts. We have team coverage as News Channel 12 Weekend Edition starts now. Hope you are having a good Saturday evening. Thanks for watching News Channel 12, a special edition here. I'm John Erickson. Right now, we have the very latest tonight in the case of 2 New Bern police officers who were shot on the job last night. It all happened at the Craven Terrace public housing complex that's off Broad Street. Authorities say police stopped a suspicious person at about 11:45 last night. That person, who has not been identified, started running away, and authorities say that person shot and hit 2 police officers. Police returned fire, killing that suspect. Police cars were at the scene until about 4 this morning. We have team coverage of this police shooting. News Channel 12's Kyle Horan reporting from New Bern. He talked to people who were there on the scene last night. But first we go to News Channel 12's Juliana Valencia. She's live in Greenville, outside the hospital where the 2 officers were taken. Juliana, what can you tell us tonight?
John, that's right. I'm right here in Greenville in front of Vidant Medical Center, and this is where the 2 officers that were wounded in that New Bern shootout were taken. The New Bern police chief tells me that one of the officers has left the hospital. The other is still in care here at Vidant. 2 officers shot in a police foot chase. The suspect is dead. Police tell us that around 11:45 last night, an officer, Alexander Thalmann, stopped a suspicious person and started asking him questions. A few minutes later, Thalmann called for backup. Justin Wester came to help him. New Bern Police Chief Tucson Summers says that during that questioning, the suspect ran away and then started shooting at the officers.
The officers returned fire, killing the suspect.
Both officers went to Vidant Medical Center for treatment.
Well, it's hard to see any law enforcement officer trying to do their job to be viciously attacked for no cause.
Wester was released today. Thalmann is still being treated. Chief Summers visited both of the officers in the hospital.
I've spoken to both officers.
Chief Summers would not comment on the condition of Officer Thalmann. Summers says this is a very hard time for their department.
There's never a cause to attack a police officer just doing his job.
He says they're thankful for all the prayers and support they've received so far. Both of the wounded officers are in their early 20s. 22-year-old Thalmann, who is still at Vidant, is just joined the New Bern Police Department in August of 2013. The State Bureau of Investigation, as well as the New Bern Police Department, are still investigating this case. Reporting live in Greenville, Juliana Valencia for News Channel 12.
Okay, Juliana, thanks very much. The hospital also not releasing any condition information about Officer Thalmann, who remains in the hospital tonight. District Attorney Scott Thomas is reviewing the investigation to determine whether the shooting of the suspect was justified. He says all indications show that the shooting was, in fact, justified. Thomas says the investigation will take at least 2 weeks. This afternoon, we spoke with Gary Wester, who is the father of Justin Wester, who was the officer who is the officer who was released from the hospital. The Westers are a law enforcement family. Gary is on the left of your screen. He retired from the Rocky Mountain Police Department after 30 years. This is Dad congratulating son Justin, who became a New Bern officer in November of 2012. Here is what Gary Wester had to say about his son being shot in the line of duty.
The only thing I would comment on is just I'm very proud of my son and the other officer in the performance of their duty last night.
Our thanks to Mr. Wester for speaking with us this afternoon. Now our team coverage continues in Craven County. News Channel 12 went back to the scene today to talk with several witnesses. News Channel 12's Kyle Horan reports.
Friday, just before midnight, many in the Craven Terrace neighborhood were getting ready for bed or already asleep.
I was in my house looking at a movie. My kids were asleep, and all of a sudden I heard one gunshot. And then when I heard multiple gunshots, that's when I jumped up. My kids jumped up.
This woman, who chose to be identified only by her nickname, Slim, says her neighborhood and backyard turned into a battleground.
flashing lights and yelling, and a guy was down over here. The first person I saw was a police officer down across the street, and then I saw the other guy. He was on the ground over here, and then I saw the other cop. He must got hit in the leg or something, and he was right here, and he, you know, laid out right here.
Crime tape, police, and flashlights filled the streets. Police say a suspect was in a gun battle with officers here.
It kind of scared me, kind of, sort of, you know, because I seen they was doing the honorable thing. About 2 or 3 policemen was over there at the officer that was down and giving him CPR, trying to save his life. And, you know, from how they was trying to do it, they was really not trying to give up, which was good. And, you know, it was just a tragedy out here.
And then police got crime scene tape everywhere, and they had everything shut down. It was a body over there. It was another person wounded over there, and it was a dead body over there. And I was just like, this can't be happening in front of my house.
And finally, a man who says he knows the suspect police say died. Dre Bryant says the suspect was his cousin, nicknamed Fluke. Bryant says he had been with him earlier in the night.
Like, I don't know, because, like, last night when I told him I was leaving, I told him I was going home. He told me he was going home. I told him, well, I'll see you tomorrow. And it's like 1 minute he there, and next minute he gone. I'm not going to say he didn't have it in him, because you never know what anybody got in them.
Now all there is left are remnants of the chaos. People on the scene say they saw multiple ambulances respond last night. They also say they saw police giving CPR to one of the officers. In the studio, Kyle Horan for News Channel 12.
New Bern mayor and city aldermen also had a news conference today regarding the shooting. Mayor Dana Outlaw and other city leaders had the officers as well as the suspects' families in their thoughts today.
I'm deeply sorry for all affected. With everything having to do with that, a couple of New Bern's finest were injured, and there's not much else to say at this time on that. I just want to know that, I want the public to know that our heartfelt condolences are out to all involved in this.
Several aldermen also went to Greenville to check on the wounded officers in person there. So there are still a lot of questions remaining to be answered in this case, including the identity of the suspect. What is his criminal past, if there is one at all? Where on their bodies were the officers shot? How many times was the suspect shot when officers returned fire? The SBI is investigating this case now. We'll certainly update WCTI12.com as we learn more. We also have News Channel 12's Amber Roberts continuing coverage tonight. We expect to hear her report coming up on Fox Eastern Carolina News at 10, as well as on News Channel 12 at 11. Stay with us as this story continues to develop. But we do turn the page here as we roll on. Cooler temps tomorrow, a warm-up coming for the week ahead. Luckily, no severe weather forming for us this afternoon. Meteorologist Ellen Baca has your Storm Track 12.